And now to help us look at this business of technology, we're joined by John Reid, head of the Canadian Advanced Technology Alliance, Canada's biggest lobby group for tech. Hi, John. Good to have you back.
Good to be back.
You know, we've spent a lot of time talking about your desire to have the federal government pay more attention to tech. Last time you were here, we talked about a new program to buy Canadian. Now, this week, they announced a panel to review the spending of some $7 billion in R&D money. Long overdue?
Well, you know, I think this is a real sign that there's been a change in mindset. So it's great they created the panel, but even greater is the fact that they're making these announcements that are really going to drive more technologies into commercial application. We're very happy of the fact that the government is going to test bed technologies, experiment, is providing an easier process that we introduce new technologies and bring them to the marketplace. So these are all good signs.
Things are heading in the right direction then?
Very much so, and very encouraged to see the review of the R&D programs. Very encouraged to see that there's more of an emphasis on small to mid-sized business.
Now, going along with that perhaps is the justification. The Globe and Mail, for example, had another article this week looking at our innovation gap, that we do lag some countries in terms of innovation. Do you see that as the justification for this new shift by the government?
Well, anytime you get a D grade, it really is asking you to maybe spend a little more time after class with the teacher. So, you know, I think the justification is there. Also, look at how goods and services are produced. The component of innovation is significant and growing, so if we don't figure it out, we're not really going to maintain our standard of living.
We also need to create new companies, and earlier tonight I looked at Terry Matthews' little incubator factory for new companies. He's a spokesperson for CATA. Would you like to see more of your members do the kind of thing that Terry's doing?
Well, I think role models and leadership critical to all organizations. So when you look what Terry is doing as a business creator, as a provider of venture capital, and also as a model for young entrepreneurs, he's really giving them the playing field, the sandbox, the tools to create those new technologies. And remember, you know, Google is 12 years old. So there's no reason we can't see similar sorts of creation in Canada, and you give those young entrepreneurs a chance to own, develop, and be your global winners.
You just need your members to stand up and get involved, really.
Well, I think you need all Canadians. It's not only information technology, but in every business, in any situation, innovation is possible. A simpler, more cost-effective way of doing things. That's just not restricted to ICT. That's pervasive throughout all organizations.
This week, the tech industry in the United States told the Obama administration you can save $1 trillion if you start implementing some of the technology that's already out there in use by the business world. That's an awful lot of money. Is that realistic to throw that kind of number out?
Well, I think what's important is you don't necessarily have to be complicated to be successful. They really pointed to 4 things: consolidation and standardization, embracing green, using those web-based applications to reach the citizens who more and more are online, and then a smart use of analytics so that you detect improper payments. When you combine those 4 things and apply them, you can make significant savings and a significant transformation, whether you're in a small business or a very, very large business of government.
Speaking of very, very large businesses, Intel reported this week, again, they beat the street in their quarterly numbers, although they didn't, the stock didn't rocket. Is it a sign that companies are they're making some money, but they're still not hiring in a big way?
Well, you know, that's an indicator, 58% growth in net profit, probably their best quarter. But I would caution, a lot of that comes from Asia-Pacific supply chain, and I stick with really the investment analysts that have remained neutral to Intel. So, you know, we're not over the barriers yet. I mean, this is a sign, but it is not the sign that you're going to see massive buying by the private and public sector.
Okay, John Reid of CATA, thanks very much for your time and your insight again.
My pleasure.